Today, I want to talk about a concept I've been thinking about called simplicity scales and fancy fails. So, you may have heard this from one of my other videos, but it's hitting me recently as I'm trying to simplify my life here. So, basically, when I started investing in real estate, like full time and really heavily in 2021, that's when I scaled the most. That's when I bought my two apartment complexes, bought my mobile home park in a window of 8 months. I bought 80 units in 8 months. On top of that, I made an offer on an RV park, which fell through, and an offer on a 50 unit apartment complex, which fell through. And thank God they fell through, to be honest, from due diligence. But during that same time, I opened up Amazon drop shipping store. I opened up my own pharmacy, and I was starting to build my YouTube channel and my personal brand. So I was doing a bunch of different things, right? And I was working full time, and I was trying to manage time for my social life. I compromised working out a little bit, but I was juggling a lot of balls. And what I realized was that, like, as you start to juggle more balls, you hit a mental capacity, a mental limit that you just cannot pass it anymore. Like, I was starting to forget things. I was starting to drop balls in the air or on the ground, and it was making me okay at multiple things. It's cool to say that, hey, I'm doing so many different things, but it was just way too complex, right? Like, I was doing value add apartment complexes for the first time, also doing my first mobile home park at the same time, doing independent pharmacy business, which takes up a lot of my time as well. I was doing an Amazon drop shipping store, which was supposed to be done for you and passive, but it was failing. So I was just like, wow, I'm doing all these things. Most of them are not doing well or not what I wanted to do. So it was very eye opening for me. I just said, wow, I've created so much complexity in my life, and nothing's doing that great, right? Like, so I started to reevaluate, okay, I need to start trimming, right? Because when you scale a large real estate portfolio, that already creates complexity, right? So for example, if I just only buy apartment complexes in Oklahoma, where I have two apartment complexes, just the complexity of owning like 500 units in Oklahoma is already challenging, right? Like, that already builds complexity on itself already. So just the fact that I own a lot of units in one market, managing, one property manager or one or two property managers, one or two general contractors, that already creates complexity. Just scale creates complexity inherently. So once I learned that concept, I had to learn it the hard way. Obviously losing money on my Amazon business. Lost 30K there, lost 30,000 on my pharmacy, and I lost $60,000 on my mobile home park. Right, so I lost $120,000 because of this complexity, and I was juggling too many balls and ended up dropping more balls than I would like. So it's really eye opening. So but going through this experience for the past like 2 years, it gave me a lot of clarity, because now I just know, okay, well, I should just continue to buy in Oklahoma when it makes sense, right? Like, when interest rates drop down, and I can do a cash out refinance on my 26 unit and my 20 unit, pull up my money tax free, and then go buy another like 25 to 50 unit apartment complex and just add that to my portfolio, renovate it the same way I renovated my 26 unit, my 20 unit, using the same property manager, using the same general contractor, knowing what the rents are. Everything's just copy and paste, right? So it's going to be easy. I know what the rents are going to be. I know how long it's going to take, because I've worked with this team already. So, but despite that being simple, like, if I own like 200, 300 units, that builds complexity into it. So that's what I mean by, simple skills. So, just find out whatever your unfair advantage is. It could be whatever, right? Mine is apartments in Oklahoma and single family homes in California. That's my unfair advantage. Whatever that is, scale that and just commit to it and scale to it, right? And then also, number two is invest in what you know, right? Like, I didn't know anything about Amazon drop shipping. I put my full trust into this operator who wasn't good, right? So I lost money, which makes sense. Independent pharmacy. I've been a pharmacist for about 10 years, but I work in a hospital setting, not the outpatient, retail Walgreens setting. And I didn't know how to vet operators, and they weren't good operators either. And I wasn't a good operator, so that's why I lost money, right? So that's why I had to trim my I closed my Amazon business. I trimmed my retail pharmacy, independent retail pharmacy. I sold my mobile home park at a loss, right? So I'm trimming the fat and just committing to what's making me money, what's the simplest, what I know the best, and what can I scale. So that's why I went through a season of I create a lot of complexity in my life, and now I'm in the process of trimming the complexity and making it simple. So, and this is what actually Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, that's their investment philosophy, is if they don't understand it, or it's too hard or too tough, they don't invest in it, right? They want things that are very, very simple, businesses that are very, very simple, because one day an idiot's going to be running your business. So you want your business to be idiot proof, because one day an idiot's going to be running your business, right? So for my apartments, I would say for the most part it is a little bit idiot proof. I mean, as long as they do their work. But like in terms of like the renovations, I keep it very simple, right? Like, hey, based on your experience, how do you want to renovate this? Okay, great, I like it, let's try one. If I like it, we'll copy and paste it to all other 26 units, and if I buy another apartment complex, copy and paste that to the other one. So it makes it idiot proof for the general contractor, for the property manager, and then for the tenants, because the tenants know, okay, well, I want an upgraded unit, or I want a maybe an average unit. So it makes it very idiot proof. And then if my property manager were to retire, the units are already stabilized, tenants are stabilized, so whoever takes over next, unless they're terrible, it should be idiot proof, relatively speaking, as well. So that's what is really, been hitting me hard, right? So now, I have so much clarity, no more shiny object syndrome, like just do what works. Like, for me, it's funny, I look back at my index, my stock portfolio. So, about 20% of my net worth, about $1 million is in my stock portfolio, and $4 million is real estate. So I'm heavily in real estate, and it makes sense because I know real estate more. I'm more active in real estate versus like stocks, right? For stocks, all I do is I buy index funds, and I have a bunch of Apple stocks that I bought like in 2013. And I remember I bought $10,000 worth of Apple stock in 2013, thinking that, hey, like, why not buy Apple stock? You can't lose, right? And I guess that's been true, 10 years later. And it kind of makes sense because that's what, if you look at Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, I think they half their stocks are Apple. And to be honest, if I look at my gains on my stock portfolio, it's carried by Apple, right? And if you buy S&P 500 stocks, like what I do, yeah, Apple is a good chunk of it. So what does that tell me? The simplest way to buy stocks is, if you want complete diversity, you buy the total market index fund, right? So there's the U.S. total market index fund. I get a little bit of bonds. Bonds are doing terrible right now because interest rates, high. And then I do a little bit of international index funds. So I own 3 index funds, right? Mostly the U.S. one, total U.S. stock market, international stock market, and then the bond market, right? And I think it's like 70% U.S., 25% international, and 5% bonds. But the U.S. index funds always do way better. So, and then what I'm probably going to do once I have more money built up, after my cash reserves are there, I'm just going to start dollar cost averaging index funds and Apple stock, right? I'm going to put like $1,000 a month to index funds, $1,500 a month to Apple stocks, just to make it very simple and easy for me, right? So, because I want all my time, all my energy going to real estate, I don't want to spend much time with day trading stocks and trying to monitor stocks. I'll just buy the index fund, which is passive, and then Apple stocks, which seems like right now you can't go wrong buying Apple stocks. It pays dividends. Apple users are very loyal, and they have a great branding, right, where they can charge whatever. So that end, 20% of my net worth, so it gets 20% of my time, 20% of my effort and energy, right? Makes sense. Real estate's 80% of my net worth, so 80% of my time should go there, right? And I know it the best. And out of the real estate, I know Oklahoma the best. I know California single-family homes the best. So I'm not going to deviate from those asset classes, right? I'm not going to do self-storage. I'm not going to do retail strip, at least right now. So it's really, the key point of this video is simple scales, and scaling already has built-in complexity already. So do yourself a favor, find your unfair advantage, whatever that is, scale it, and that will inherently have complexity on its own. So if you take any message, simple scales, because scaling already has complexity, and you want to make your life as easy as possible, especially if you're investing not to create another job, but to create passive income. So please take that key message home. Hope you found value in this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.